Hello, hello. All the listeners of Align with Your Dharma. Happy New Year. Happy, healthy, prosperous, joyous, harmonious New Year. And it is a new year, new environment, new mindset, and new speakers that I'm inviting into this beautiful space. I'm excited. I'm super excited. And I just completed my webinar about how to stop procrastinating and be a completer yesterday. And there is another one coming on January 18th, Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. So if anyone is interested and if you are procrastinating for whatever reasons, wherever it is, and you want to stop doing that and be a completer, reach out to me, message me, and I'll give you the link. I'm excited, and there is more things, more beautiful things coming up in February. Um, so welcome, welcome, welcome. And I appreciate you for all the support and all the comments that you're giving. Um, Today, I have another wonderful gifted guest. All my guests are gifted, right? Um, and this person is a conscious creator, instructional architect, visionary consultant in the house. Yes! So this person has had 11-year journey in education, emphasizing the shift from traditional classroom methods to community-based instruction. Um, and she's so gifted. She's just so gifted. That's all I can say. And she has worked with as a program manager for HeartMath, focusing on campaign to teach emotional regulation to, guess what? 100,000 children globally. That's right. And COVID-19 happened, and you know what happened? Everything slowed down. Um, but she's also working with a publisher, and she has experience working with Robert Hay Coxon, a composer whose healing music inspired them to help him monetize his work. So she's so gifted. And without further ado, I want to invite Shannon Petrie. Woo!
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. This is my first podcast. I've been invited to others, and I waited and waited and waited, and it's only right that it would be Aruna.
Oh, thank you. I'm honored. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So it's beautiful. Thank you so much. The conversation I've had with you a couple of times, it just inspired me, and you asked me some thought-provoking questions um, that that inspired me to do certain things. So thank you for that. So to start off, I'm going to ask you, how did you get it started, as a visionary consultant or instructional architect? What brought you into this?
All the way to here. So I have a background in education, but I never believed that education was the way. I believe that the information that we need is actually given to us at the right and perfect time. So I was all kinds of fun. My background is in biological sciences, so that could have gone a whole bunch of gamuts. And what ended up happening was these gifts. So I came in knowing who I was at a very young age. We're talking shamanic remembrance when I was 3 years old, and not really having anybody to talk to
Mhm.
about it, and experiencing this whole idea around when someone passes, they're really not gone. They're actually right here in the room, and there's a whole story behind that. But learning how to be in this world, a world that really didn't lend itself to someone like me. I went down the roads that everyone else wanted me to go down because, as far as education and things like that, it was just safer to stay, in a lane. But in my mid 20s, I actually ended up having some things happen where I could not turn my gifts down anymore. And that unfolded in a way that I was in education at the time, and I had autistic children. I don't even like to use that label in my classroom, but I had, gifted children, and I had to find a way to reach them and work with them. I found out how telepathic they are because I can read, I can see, I have all the clairs. And I figured out, and I've had this whole community-based learning approach that unfolded. And then, life happened again about 10 years after that. And I ended up actually in a situation where I ended up leaving teaching. I was given the signs along the way. And if the guides give you a sign, Aruna, you have to follow what they tell you. Well, I didn't really follow this time. I was like, oh, it'll be okay. And I stayed in teaching about a month and a half too long. And I ended up being taken out. I had a major panic attack in the classroom and taken out in an ambulance.
Mm.
But what happened after that, it was like, I can't deny who I am. And I ended up traveling all over the United States for a publisher, teaching about the new ways of science
Mm.
and about the just how instead of us telling students what they need, but also allowing for that expertise that all young people have that we talk them out of, like what happened to me, um, that they've really come in with this intelligence about them. And so I just walked down this road, and along the way, I started working with businesses and I started working with individuals about how they can unlock who they are. And it was true. I worked with students, I've worked with business owners, I still do, and then humans that are ready to go to the next level. Um, and it unfolded. There are many stories. I mean, there's a couple books running around there around how it all unfolded. Yeah.
Beautiful. Thank you. When you said um, all the clairs, can you explain that? You can see, here. What do you mean by that?
So all the clairs. So my my intuition, the clair of knowing that is on. Like I just know things. Like there's no explaining it. It's just there. I can see spirit beings. I can hear them. Um, Sometimes I can, depending on what it is I'm working with, there's a smell that can come about. There's a taste. Um, yeah, it's all of it. My world, I feel like I walk between worlds, um, because I just have this gift of working with being in almost an interdimensional space. This if you're on YouTube right now or wherever you are, I'm like pointing out like there's a lot more going on here than what our regular, and I'm air quoting that, eyes would tell you. And just the sensing of that. And yeah, it's really helped me to understand who I am and my abilities because I can even sense when Wi-Fi is changing
Mm.
in a space. And like my nighttime routine is we got to turn off Wi-Fi and unplug
Mm.
things. It's yeah, yeah,
Mm.
yeah,
Okay. So, a big question.
yeah.
What is this time of the year about?
Mm,
And how can people work with the energy? Because you said, you know, you can sense things.
yeah.
So, what is this time of the year about? And how can
Okay.
people work with
Okay.
that
Okay.
energy?
Everybody buckle in.
Right.
So So, this time of year, I know the calendar says 2026, and that is a push that's been put on us. Nature is in its own way right now where it's still resting and it's still like, okay, what am I going to do next? Right. Um, so we make these, intentions or we make these resolutions. I haven't made a resolution. I can't tell you the last time I made a resolution. And this year in particular, I don't know, the listeners may have heard of the year of the snake, and everybody says, oh, that's 2025. Well, actually, the year of the snake is still happening. It's happening until February 16th
Mm,
of 2026. And what I like to say, especially when working with my clients, because I'm really seeing this right now, is it is a time of shedding. We are
mm.
2025. I know for me personally, I have been shedding like nobody's business, and I'm not talking about my hair. It's like those beliefs, those practices, those things that it might be people, it might be places that are just falling off. And right now is a time, we have one more shed, one more. And if I may, I'm going to keep going here. Uh, what happens in your course that you're doing right now about changing what you were talking about, like the procrastination. This is a time of letting go of what no longer serves us, like truly, and putting into place those new things that we want to bring about because we're moving into the age of Aquarius. Now, I know they've been talking about that for I don't know how long, but astrologically, if you talk to any astrologer that's worth their weight, we are truly the way everything is lining up. We are truly moving into that age of understanding who we are and moving from that place of spirit. And so between now and February 16th, we are shedding one more thing. And it could be a thought about
Mhm.
yourself, it could be a person, could be a thing, could be a belief.
Mm.
And after that, then it's time you're putting into practice those things you want to change. And by April, you're solidifying the path. Now, I'm not saying that you can't change the direction of where you're headed and all the things like, because that's the other, you can make another choice, a choice is a change is a choice. Like you can work with that, but this time right now is like, okay, where do you want to be and where do you want to go? And it's like you get out the map, you make your choices, and now you're headed down the road. Yeah.
That's beautifully said. Yeah, beautifully said. Um, so when you said that is this time of the year until now until February 16th is the year of the snake shedding. That is so true. I have been letting go of things what I thought was serving me, and now I'm like, no, that is not serving me. Let's let go. And it's easy to be in the comfort zone. Trust me, because I've been doing inside my private Facebook group, I've been offering 15 minutes of mindful movement for those people who feel overwhelmed and who don't know where to start. And I'm like, okay, just give yourself grace because we are very self-critical about ourselves. We
Absolutely.
don't treat our friend that same way. We don't speak like that to our friend. But then this friend, right?
Here.
We are our friends, right? But
Yeah.
we speak so many things, that is not serving us. So anyway, that's why I thought like, you know what, I'm going to offer that 15 minutes so they don't need to judge themselves, just be there. And purposefully, first two classes that I did, it's completely free, right? And I did it in my pajamas just to tell them it's okay. All we are doing is intentionally moving our body.
Yeah.
We don't need to be judging ourselves and critical about ourselves. And still, some people didn't show up. That's fine. It's there, then they're ready.
Yeah.
So the reason why I'm saying this is couple of days I felt like, oh, I just want to sleep in. But then just because I gave my word, I want to be true to my word. And I'm like, I'm going to do it. And because once we do it, at least for what, 21 days, when you do it, it gets into your pattern. It
Right?
creates a new neural pathway. So I'm like, you know what, I'm going to do it. And when you said shedding, I'm like, okay, now I get it. So I am actually doing the part to shed that old pattern. So when you said a thought, a belief, whatever that is stopping us, right? We
Right.
can do it.
We can do it.
Yes, because our subconscious mind is the biggest supercomputer. Even if we networked, multiple supercomputers that are so powerful, our subconscious mind is much more powerful. And thank you for saying that, we have the power within us to shed one last time, one more time between now and February 16th to shed that negative belief or whatever that is not serving us, the thought. It can be just one, but that is
Yeah.
going to be so powerful. So, how can people work with this energy? This energy, you said that snake is ending, and then you said something about Aquarius.
So, yeah, so we have this alignment that's happening with Aquarius. I also want to go back, if I can go back
Hmm.
for a second. We also, the 18th, so I think that's when your course is happening or
The
your
18th.
free webinar. Timing is beautiful. So this Sunday, but you can do this anytime because time is relative.
Thank you.
This Sunday is actually the Capricorn new moon. So I am a Capricorn. And one thing about Capricorns is we love setting intentions and we love setting like tangible goals. Structure. We are all about structure. So that is also an energy that's happening right now. And it's like, be kind to yourself. Um, like truly stop like people pleasing. Stop, like take a moment and
Thank you. Thank
stop,
you.
stop people pleasing. Um, yeah, just take a moment. It's like, what do you really want? This is the practice I've been in for about a week. I don't allow myself to go here often. It's like, what is it that I really want? And be honest
Mhm.
and write it out. Write it out. And start looking at places in your life that this doesn't align. Where are you not being that most authentic self?
Mm.
Um, there's something you said, Aruna, about the supercomputer and
Mhm.
all of that. So I want to take that a step further because I've been playing with this image. So imagine that you are the consciousness for this body. So that means you be kind to this body because the consciousness, I believe, has been here before. So you treat this nice,
Mhm.
right? Like you treat it because this is that your body's first time here living. Even though
Mhm.
your consciousness, this might be a stretch for some, your consciousness might, has had many lives, concurrent lives is what I like to call them, and planetary, all the things. But this body, where that you take care of this body, it's first time on this planet. Be
Yes.
kind to it.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Because, the environment we are in, the people we are in, because when you said shed, you might have to shed a thought, a belief, people, a thing.
yeah,
Um, where was I going with that? So the the environment we are in. So if we keep two lemons, right?
right.
Close together that are like fresh, ripe, and juicy. And then you keep the third lemon here that is it's a little bit rotting, right? And that is very close to these two lemons that are perfect and ripe and, it's ready to be used so it can benefit our body. But then this, because it is closer to this other lemon that is rotting, starting to rot, you keep it closer for a longer time. Guess what? That is going to leach into these two lemons. So the
Right.
environment we are in, it affects us. So which, it's okay to have that boundary. So between those two, if you are those ripe, lemons, remove yourself, shed yourself from those lemons, whatever that is.
Whatever that is.
That is rotting, right?
Yeah.
And it's important to have those boundaries, and it's not being selfish to have those boundaries. There is
Right.
a reason why. So when you said protect, take care of this body, it's like not, yes, eat well, take care of all of that. Thoughts also is important. And
Yeah.
if we are sitting with somebody who's complaining all the time, oh my God, Shannon, oh, this, I didn't have this, yeah, that is going to impact us. And then we will start doing the same thing.
Right. Even if you love them. I just need to say that because it's the ones
Yes.
we love, like we're like, oh, well, they're my partner or
Friends or
friend,
whatever.
whatever it is. Yeah, and it's hard. It is like it, but you protect you. Yeah,
And they are there. I feel like they are saying things from their own, that's the knowledge they have.
right,
They haven't evolved yet to shed that pattern.
right.
It doesn't mean we have to be sucked into that. They are, when they are ready to shed that pattern of negative thoughts and negative talking, whatever, they will evolve. We can hold the space for them, but it's okay to have that boundary,
Yes, yes,
right?
yeah, yes. And holding the space doesn't mean we have to. Holding the space doesn't mean it's always. How do I say this? Holding the space doesn't mean we have to hurt ourselves in the process. We don't have to like, you know what I'm saying? Like holding the space is kind, but it also doesn't mean you don't ask questions or you don't, you know what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah,
We can ask kind questions that
yeah,
will make them think and evolve at their own pace. We don't have to nudge them, we don't have to push them. They will evolve at their own space and pace. And same thing, if you had told me, a few years ago, I was like, what? No. It has to, we have to go through certain things in our life to evolve and to be the person who we are supposed to be,
yeah,
aligned with our life's purpose.
yes,
And there is nothing wrong in it. There is nobody is at flaw. We are just perfect just the way we are at this moment.
in this moment. Yeah.
And I saw this um, this van when I was driving. I saw this van that said, um, I, okay, am perfect. Okay. And then I read that and I had an aha moment. I'm like, oh my God. So when we see the word imperfect, I was like, say the first letter and the second letter and then say the rest of the letters together. It is
Yeah.
I am perfect. There is no imperfection.
No,
Nobody is imperfect. They are
no,
just perfect just the way they are for that moment.
for that.
And
Yeah.
next moment, I might think like, okay, I want to do this. That's okay for that moment. That
Yep.
action is good. But this moment, me having an interaction with all my listeners and Shannon sharing this information that she knows and with her knowledge, it's perfect for this moment.
For this moment.
So we don't have to be, critical about ourselves and we can be kind to ourselves.
Yeah.
Um,
We've actually have learned the wrong definition. I'm always interested in the definition of words. That perfection isn't what we think it is.
mhm.
Perfection is like kind of what we're saying right now, but there's always a slight change or slight flaw. Like there is no such thing as perfection. I
Yep.
challenge someone to look that up, check it out, research that because our wording and what we use, we get stuck in it and we're like, oh, a perfectionist. And it is like, well, I don't know if you know what that means.
Yes.
We've been taught that it's got to be a certain way. And like, no, 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 that's not what it means.
Yes, exactly. And when I was working with a physician, he's an internal medicine physician. I leased a space in his office. And he said, Aruna, give me a brochure with all the services you offer. I said, yes, doc. 10 days went by. He looked at me. He's like, where is the brochure? And I said, "Oh, it's not perfect yet. I have to make some changes." He looked at me in my eye and he said, "Doesn't have to be perfect." This is coming from an internal medicine physician.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, okay. So I gave myself permission. Does that mean I was not hard on myself? No. There were times where the perfectionist in me would like, "Hey, I'm here." And I'm like, "I know, I see you, but this is not the time." You know, the
Yeah.
people pleaser in me, the perfectionist in me, it'll show up and I'm like, "I see you, I acknowledge you, but you know what? I want you to sit the other side."
Yeah. Thank
Trying
you
to
for your
move on.
information. Yeah. I need you to sit down over there. Yes. Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So let me ask you this. Um, how do you currently define success? And
Oh,
has that definition changed, from the time you began your journey?
oh yeah. Yeah, it is definitely changed. I am a recovering perfectionist. So I can talk about that. Um, how do I define success? Right now, it's the definition of how I feel about me. I have,
Mm,
I have worked, I have really worked with myself of removing masks that society wants me to wear and be. When I was a kiddo, success meant love.
mm,
Um, Got to get the straight A's. If I get the straight A's, then I'm going to get love. Oh, yeah. Uh, but somewhere around middle school, I had a middle school math teacher that wasn't very kind to students, and I stopped trying. And it was kind of like my own experiment. And if I stop trying, will anybody notice? And no one noticed. No one asked any questions. So I started like, maybe this doesn't matter, that kind of thing. And I really, I've been playing that dance. If I get straight A's, da 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 da. I had scholarships, all the things. And it was like, I was equating success to love. And now success to me is knowing more about who I am and what works for me. And I'm still working on the other part of that definition. Because
mm.
for so long, it's success, the definition society gives us is money, relationships, all these things. And I know myself better today. And I've allowed myself to even talk openly here with you the way I do. That feels like success.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Oh my goodness. When you said when you are young, when you are, well, you are still young. Um, when you were a baby or when you were a kiddo, you mentioned that you wanted to get straight A's to, that's people pleasing. And yes, I have done that too.
Yeah.
And I say I'm a recovering people pleaser. You are saying you're a recovering perfectionist. That's interesting. So, when you said your success is now your definition is knowing who you are. So, who are you? How can people work with you, Shannon? Who are you?
Who am I? I'm a conscious creator.
Mhm.
I have an understanding that your thoughts and I'm going to like this with my head. If you're on Spotify right now, you can't see what I'm doing in my head. But you can consciously create your world. When you start looking at these subconscious beliefs, you can actually remove them. I have an understanding and a realization of my galactic self. Yep, I just went there.
Mm.
Mhm. And That's a whole nother podcast. Uh, and
Galactic self.
yeah. um, I live in possibility.
I
I
love
hold,
that.
I live in possibility. I hold a vision for a future for this world within me that is peaceful. I
Mm.
can feel it. It's like being, I've never been pregnant, but I will tell you that I feel like I hold a world within me that feels like peace.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And all the listeners who are listening and feeling overwhelmed and with everything that is going on around the world, I'm sure this will bring harmony to your heart and to your mind, knowing that she's holding the vision of a world that is in peace.
Yeah.
We have to just take a moment, just let that sink in. That is harmonious, that is peaceful, that is working coherently with each other. It's so beautiful. And, for some reason, the 432 hertz just comes to me. That helps. I'm not a doctor, I'm not a psychologist, but I want to say the 432 hertz that whoever is working with the frequencies, they say it regulates the heart rate and it regulates the blood pressure. So, and it's in harmony. So that's when you said it's in peace, that's what I feel. It's 432 hertz. It's like harmony.
Harmony. Harmony. Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
So thank you for sharing that. I appreciate that. I felt the peace when you said that. How can people work with you? How do clients reach out to you?
They can email me. Because Aruna, I love Aruna. If you've never worked with Aruna, I'm just saying. uh, Aruna has pushed me a little bit nicely that it's time to have a presence. I have built websites for myself. I'm working on one right now. It's going to be simple, not looking for perfection, since we're going to talk about that. Just so that people can know a little bit more about me. I've built three of them before, and then I've been told by my guides delete them. And now it's like, okay, it's time. It's time.
Mm,
They can email me, and we can put my email in the comments. That's fine. But I work on Zoom with people. I work with business owners. It's one of the things right now. It's been quite interesting with my background of understanding. I've worked with some local businesses and Robert Coxon, who is a composer out of Canada. And it was about these changes. They want to bring about something into the world, but they need to change some things about them. Not good, bad, right, or wrong, just to realign themselves to the future that they see and desire and what they want to bring in. So I work with creatives and business owners, yeah, all the like, and I come into businesses and I'll do a blessing and a clearing, but it's also with the business owner as well. So it's an alignment because the creatives, they are part of that creation. The business owners, they are part of that business. Like it's an extension of them. It doesn't stop at the door. So
mm.
yeah,
And they are seeking, you're a conscious creator and then you're an instructional architect.
yeah.
And so they are seeking your expertise for fill in the blanks.
Fill in the blank. So they're looking for my expertise. So being a visionary consultant, meaning I can see someone will come forward and say, I want to bring this about within my business. I want to start this business. So I can see within them, this is part of it, like I can feel the blocks that are there that would keep them from that. And I work with the client to remove those blocks so they can bring forward this vision that they have. And I hold the vision with them. Whenever I work with someone, I am holding that vision. We create the vision together. Like I go back, we create it together, and I hold it with them. Um, because it's more powerful when you have someone who is with you and not like not pushing against or anything, just right there, like I'm with you on this. Um, and it's about like bringing it about, and it comes about even faster. Somebody told me, I have some friends that I've worked with along the way that I call them friends. Maybe some would call them acquaintances, but I call them friends. They call me a transition coordinator. I see where you want to go and I help you get there and move accordingly. Yeah. And it's
Transition coordinator.
transition coordinator and it's different each time.
Hmm.
It's never the same, right? I mean, yeah. Wouldn't you say, Aruna, when you work with someone, it's never the
Yes.
same?
So it is similar. Thanks for saying that you hold the vision with them. Yes. As a neuro-linguistic programming coach, when I'm working with somebody and helping them, let go of that limiting beliefs and whatever that is, one belief, two beliefs, whatever that is, and behaviors that they want to let go of. And, for example, they want to stop. I've done that. I was like super skeptical when my coach, I wanted to stop all the sugars. And I asked my coach, can I just let go of all the sweets? And my coach was like, no. I'm like, why not? Because all the sweets are carbs, right?
Right.
So for that matter, the sweet that is the fruits are sweet, but it's natural, it's good for you. So I cannot, the coach, he was very ethical, good, whatever is good for me, good for the planet, good for the community. So it's like, no, you cannot do that. I said, okay. So at that time, we are talking about 4 or 5 years ago. And I said, okay, I would go into Subway restaurant and get this oatmeal raisin cookie. Don't ask me why. And I was like, I liked it so much. I would just go get it. And I was eating. So I wanted to like test it, right? Literally, I was skeptical. So I'm like, okay, I just want to, stop liking the oatmeal raisin cookie. So the coach was like, okay, sure. So it took him only like literally 2 minutes, Shannon, 2 minutes. And I was super skeptical. And after that, I'm like, oh, I'm going to go to Subway and test if it is really I'm liking it or disliking it. No,
Yeah.
even when
No.
I went to Subway, I did not get that. I mean, I had an aversion. I did not have any craving. So the reason why I'm saying that is, um, when I'm working with my client, I hold, like you said, whatever they say they want to become confident. So I'm holding that space of them being confident. And so it's easier for them to navigate through that path. And, so when you said holding the space and you are there with them, that's what I
Yeah.
mean. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It,
And I do it even over Zoom.
right.
Energetically, I'm there with them.
Right. It doesn't matter. It doesn't
Yep.
matter. Energetically, it doesn't matter.
Yes.
The whole idea. So, I mean, can I give another example?
Sure.
Okay. So, I had a cat that was diagnosed with a form of cancer,
Mm.
and this was 6 years ago. Yes. And they said Pete the cat, and he was Pete the cat before there was a Pete the cat. Anyway, uh, um, Pete was my bud. So they said he's going to pass in 3 weeks. You have weeks to a month, and I was like, first I cried.
Mm-hmm.
There's a human part of me here, so first I cried, and I got all of that out. Right, feel the feeling and get it all the way out. And then I said, no, this is not happening like this. And I was working with a healer out of Miami, Florida at the time, and I called her and I said, hey, here's what's going on. And here's what I'm going to do. And I started telling her, she's like, you already know what you're doing. And I said, yeah, but I need somebody else to hold this vision with me. And it was a perfectly healthy cat. And I did some energetic work with Pete. And Pete lived to be 20.
Whoa.
He just passed in June. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's like holding the vision and having the feeling of what it would be like, right? Like what was my vision of Pete was I loved when he would greet me at the door. My cat was very much like a dog. And just his little face. And I just kept holding that and holding that
Yes.
and clearing the energy. And I had 6 more years with him.
Thanks for saying that. Yes. And when in coach's language, I call it future pacing. So I'll ask them like, okay, if somebody says they have been living with pain and because they are making, incorrect food choices or whatever that is, or if
Yeah.
they're smoking and they want to quit smoking, and then I'm like, okay, how does the non-smoker of you, what does the non-smoker do? And they're like, okay, they're in what does this non-smoker wear? What kind of expressions do they have? How does their skin look? And so I take them through that process so they see and they hear and they feel what this non-smoker version of them would be doing. So, and I hold the space for them. So, like you said, and that, and then when I do the clinical hypnosis, so I lock it in place for them. So I'm
Yes.
not controlling their mind, nothing. They are just doing it for themselves, but I just hold the space and future pacing.
Yeah.
So that, when you said that, that's what came to me.
Yeah. It really works too. Like,
Yes,
if you don't believe us, try it. Or
yes,
something easy.
yes. And when you said, when the doctor said, or the veterinarian said that cat has only 3 weeks, you felt the feeling. That is important. There are some people, they don't want to feel that uncomfortableness.
Yeah.
So they are like masking it, like, no, I'm strong. And if they are a man, they are told like you cannot show your feelings, and they suppress it, suppress it, suppress it, and then it shows up as this volcano, in some other form. So, it's okay to feel the feeling. So I tell people like I'm here to help you so you can feel the feelings. Even women do that. There are women I've worked with, they are leaders in their area, and they feel like if they cry, others will perceive them as being weak. I'm like, on whose terms? We are
Right. Exactly.
human beings. We are not human doings. We are
Right.
human beings, and it's okay to feel. That's what
Yes.
makes us human.
Right. You want to, that's why you're here.
Yes.
Feel the feelings. And if you don't feel them now, you're going to feel them at some point. So why not
Yep.
lean in for 90 seconds? I mean, isn't it like something like that, Aruna? Like something short, like if as soon as it comes up, don't fight it. Because
Yes.
it will only last a short bit. But if you allow it to come
Yes.
in and do its thing, it won't last long.
Yes. Yeah, just like you felt the feelings first, and then you're like, you know what? I want to have more time, spend more time with
Yeah.
my beautiful Pete. So,
Yeah.
or gorgeous or handsome Pete, whatever you want to call him, you know.
Yeah.
So what, okay, I want to ask you this. What is one achievement? I know you have had so many achievements. What is one achievement you're so proud of?
Oh. One achieved. Wow, I have to really think about this. I'm so proud of.
It can be the session you had with a client. It can be anything.
Oh, yeah. I have a client that I'm currently working with. It was like um, all these things that I have worked through in my life. Not all, but a major like understandings I just haven't got this client like held them all.
Mm.
And I didn't know. So I'm mobile. So I will see people online, but I will also go to their houses. This is something I was guided to do. This client actually is the one who got me started with this, and she was like, "Oh, you can come to my house." I said, "Yeah, I'll come to your house, sure." Um, and um, and just the openness and to step into like really knowing who I am and owning it and my understanding and being able to read and intuit in the moment. I mean, sometimes, I don't know if you ever get this, Aruna, you have a moment of am I really doing this? And I totally believe that I'm guided and I channel through information. But with this, or I should say, and with this client, I didn't hold back. I let it all come out. And I told her, and it was one of the first times that I just let it flow and I was just totally me. And I didn't hold back on that. And that to me, to date, is probably one of my biggest accomplishments because I have guarded myself of, is this okay to say?
So when you did that,
Yeah,
right, when you were being your authentic self and you let yourself be yourself and you owned it and you knew who you are, how did that make you feel when you did that?
powerful.
Hmm.
Um, since everything was flowing and I wasn't like holding myself in place. Do you know what I mean? Like I wasn't like guarding myself. It all just flowed through. And it was like one of the first times. It also happens when I speak, but this was one of the first times that I really felt it and I was really present for it. Sometimes I'll go into a channeling mode. I will channel through information. This was like I was completely present for
Mm.
this moment of it felt like blooming from the
Yes.
heart. Yeah, it felt like blooming. Yeah,
And
yeah.
how did that client who you said whatever knowings you have had, this person had it. What did they say when you were being your authentic self and you owned it and it felt powerful for you, but then
Yeah.
receiving on the receiving end, what did that client feel?
Um, so I will say that I'll preface it this. This was a 3 hour session.
Hmm.
Most of my sessions do not go 3 hours, but we were there and it was like tucking in loose ends, like moment. And she said to me, wow, I have never experienced anything like that before. I've seen many healers,
Hmm.
I've worked with many. I have never experienced something like that. And I didn't know I needed you until now. Like I
Mm.
needed this and it it just like just the way she said it. Wow. Yeah. It just
Thanks
I'm
for
so
sharing.
yeah, yeah. It was
Right.
amazing. Yeah.
And on that note, I want to say when when we had our conversation, you mentioned something. You asked me a question, and among the other questions, you asked me a question, and I answered you, and I said, "Oh, this is what comes to my mind," and you just looked at it from a different perspective, and you said, "Okay, did you ever look at it from this perspective?" And you asked me another question. I was like, "Huh, I never thought of it that way." And it is so beautiful because, just like your client said, nobody said it that way. That's how I looked at it too. When you asked me that question, I was like, I've never thought of it from that perspective. You know, it's like in when I'm coaching, I tell people, you are looking through your own eyes, or you can look at it from a second person, third person's perspective, right? So
Right.
that, you are like standing here and you are seeing yourself. Oh, Aruna is having conversation with Shannon, but you're here, you're viewing yourself. And then
Right.
the other perspective is there is a camera, video camera there,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
where video camera is seeing Aruna, you know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
that I was like, whoa, this is a totally different perspective. And the way it clicked in is for me when you had conducted the meditation in the salt room, with the salt coming and all the negative ions, positive ions,
Yeah.
positive ions. And I could, and you were guiding us through the meditation with the Robert's music. Oh my God, it was just beautiful. Anyway, it took me to trance. And when you were asking us to who do you ask this question? Oh my God. And I will never forget that.
You're
You
gonna
said,
ask me what I said because you know.
huh? I'm sorry.
Like I channel through, like it comes, it's spontaneous. I forget
Yes.
what was it about? What was it
So,
about?
so, so, so it was, you said, hold, who do you care about? This person.
Oh, yeah,
Or
yeah,
maybe it's your family member. Who do you care about?
yeah,
And immediately when you said that, it's my little self.
yeah.
And I was like, whoa, hold on. Then I was not ready to see them like, no, 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 it's somebody else. Then it's like, no, it's your little self.
Little self,
Kept
yeah.
coming back. And I was like, wow. So I was able to connect. That's what I'm trying to say.
Ah,
This is the question you asked. I was able to connect that with the meditation. It was totally different situation. The setting was different, but I was
yes,
able to connect those two.
yeah,
So I can understand why your client was saying, nobody asked me that question like you did. So thank
yeah,
you for that.
yeah. You're
Hopefully
welcome.
the audience are able to relate to what I'm saying.
Yeah,
The question Shannon asks, um, at that moment, I didn't realize why she was asking that. And I've done that even to my mentor. I'm like, why? And then after some time, at a different situation, when you were conducting the meditation, the dots just connected. So thank you for that, for creating that space and the music and your voice and everything. So it was, and if you happen, the audience, the listeners, if you have a chance to do drumming with Shannon, please do, because that's another unique, wonderful experience that I got to experience as well. It was amazing. We were drumming, and I thought she's going to drum, and we are going to sit here and meditate. No, she allowed us all to participate, and it's just beautiful. Uh,
yeah.
okay, so I can just talk, talk, and talk. I have one question. What is your biggest piece of advice right here and now for the audience who are listening?
Oh. My biggest piece of advice, there is no one else on this planet in this time and space that is like you. No one. And you yourself, we've said a little bit about, I worked with composers and so on and so forth. You yourself, you're part of a greater symphony of the human race. And it is up to you to play the note that you're meant to play, authentically you. So it's no more holding back. And if you think, oh, I don't know what note to play, you'll know. If you trust yourself enough, you will know and you will not miss the time that you're supposed to come in and play that note. You're meant to be you. It's no mistake. That's my biggest piece of advice. Play your note.
Mm, play your note. Wow. Huh. Ah, I'm having goosebumps. Play your note.
Play your
All
note.
the audience listening, please play your note. This is your moment, like she says. Ooh, okay.
Yeah, it's the symphony. So, symphony, we all know what a symphony is, but the greatest symphony, the human resonance, is the greatest symphony that will ever be played here on planet Earth. And it's knowing who you are, and it's about connection, collaboration, creation in that space. And it only works if we're all playing our note.
The reason why I'm not, I'm just taking it all in. It only works only if we all play our note.
Yeah.
It is authentic to ourselves. So we should give ourselves permission. No, I'm going to reframe it. Not we should. We get to give ourselves permission to play our note.
Yes.
Only we can play that note. Nobody
That's
else
it.
can.
Nobody else can. And it's not hurting anybody. Those are the rules. We've been taught that I can't be me because it might do X, Y, or Z. No, you're not hurting anybody. Truth doesn't hurt.
Mhm. Man, she's just dropping things. Mic drop. Truth doesn't hurt. That's true.
Truth doesn't hurt. Might sting for a second,
Mm.
but truth doesn't hurt. Yeah.
Okay. So, on that note, we have to play our note
Yeah.
authentically. We need to love ourselves. It's give ourselves permission, love ourselves, be kind to ourselves. And it's not being selfish, it's self-care. And for those individuals who are visionaries and who are entrepreneurs, who are business leaders, who are ambitious, and who are single, and they feel like, oh, I want the person who I'm attracting to be my partner has to be this, this, and this. No, instead of that, become the love you are seeking. And February 14th, in my office, I'm offering 5-hour workshop to become that love that you're seeking. So on that note, so you can play your note authentically with love by becoming that love. So
Yeah.
you attract. Um, Anything else we missed on that note that you want?
I want to say something to that effect. If
Sure.
you are playing your notes harmonically, you will attract a harmonic match. You just will. Otherwise, you're going to get some version that isn't, you're not going to want that. You got to be completely you and be that love, which he's talking about. And then you will attract the harmonic that matches.
That's true because we get to play our note authentically because everyone's DNA is unique.
Yeah.
Why do we want to be like somebody else? Why are we comparing ourselves to be like somebody else? Right? We have to stop comparing and be our authentic self. Like you said, truth doesn't hurt. It might sting, but it does not hurt. So we get to play our note. Oh my God, that is so good. Anything else before we wrap it up?
I
I'm
think
enjoying.
I
I'm
think that's it.
enjoying.
Just thank
Okay.
you for having me. I know Runa and I can go, we could go longer. But yeah, I would love to do this again sometime. And just thank you for having me and just thank you for seeing me and just knowing who I am, Aruna. Just always.
Okay. Before we go, I want to ask you,
Mhm.
um, if you have in your power to create a principle or a law that is going to be beneficial for everyone, what is it?
What's the law?
It can be a principle, it can be a law that is going to benefit everyone, every being on earth. What would
Hmm.
that be?
Hmm.
You have a magic wand, you have the
No
power.
magic wand. I can, that's big. So that this is something I do. This is my magic wand. This is about responsibility of words and the power of words. And so I totally believe in using the name. So if you're talking about someone, you can't use a pronoun. You have to use their name. It makes you responsible for what's coming out of your mouth. And energetically, it actually invites them into the conversation, whether they know it or not, using the name. I know it's one of these things. We could go different ways. Yeah, that you have to use the name when you're talking to someone because you're invoking that power of who they are, that name of who they are. It goes back to the note. Yeah,
When you said use their name with their permission.
with their permission, with their
Yes.
permission. That we're
Good.
not just talking. And I think that's where we get in trouble is when we just talk, we think that we're not hurting anything but no, actually energetically, it's not a good space if we're not taking care of, when we say someone's name, we have somebody in mind. There's other things that go with that and there's energies that go with that. It's powerful. So you use their name with permission. Otherwise, you work with you, what comes up for you, right? Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And I will add Shannon's email in the notes, so you can email her. And if you have an opportunity to attend her meditation or drumming ceremony, please do. It's magical. You get um, you get to shed.
You get to shed.
Yeah. And it's okay to shed, even after the
Yeah.
February 16th. Whatever that does not serve us, we can give ourselves permission to shed, to evolve into the next best version of ourselves. So we can play our note authentically
Yes.
in harmony. Thank you, Shannon. Thank you,
Thank
Shannon.
you.
It's been a pleasure. It's been wonderful. And I'm sure the listeners are enjoying this as well. Thank you.
Thank you.